So the spoiler for chapter 26 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex is here, and it's not that much to be honest, but I did promise to cover it because the stream didn't work out yesterday, so we're just gonna get into it. So the first panel shows Inojin paying Hima a visit, and it seems like he gives her something. She then says that this honey is always sold out, and he replied saying, "Right, I just happened to find it on sale when I went. It's the one you like, Himawari-chan, isn't it?" She then says that she's so happy and thanks him, and he looks at her very longingly and then walks away. I will say it would be funny if the next panel shows Boruto kinda watching from the distance and he's like, what is this dude trying to do here? Why is he looking at my sister like that? And then we get a conversation between Boruto and Inojin. Because people tend to forget this, but they were kinda best friends in part 1. Like prior to becoming the Boruto and Kawaki show, they used to hang out a lot with Shikodai, so it would be interesting to see that interaction for sure. With that said, I did kinda play this off as a big nothing burger, and it kinda is, but that's more so because I love to make fun of Inojin. But there's something there, there's something going on, of course. It's kinda showing a new direction when it comes to the Boruto manga as it pertains to which characters get focus, and it kinda plays into the title as well, which is 2 Blue Vortex, and most people believe that this second Vortex is Himawari, so obviously she's going to get more focus and more development in the story. And this is pretty much what's going on here. At face value, the scene is very simple. Inojin shows up at Himawari's house, gives her a jar of honey, and she freaks out like he bought her a Lamborghini or something. It shows that it means something to Himawari. So when you see them dedicate multiple panels to Himawari getting emotional over very simple things like honey, it's a signal, it's a character beat. And also, this isn't the first time this universe has used something very small to highlight something bigger. The same thing happened when Naruto shared his food with Iruka back in OG Naruto, or when Hinata offered Naruto ointment for his wound during the Chunin exams. On the surface, those were little gestures, but in hindsight, they were massive moments for character growth and emotional bonds. The honey scene here is playing the same game. She doesn't just say thanks and moves on with her life. She's glowing, her face lights up, her body language is open, and she even hugs the jar like it's some kind of treasure. Why? Well, I would argue that she isn't just excited about the honey itself. She's excited because someone remembered her preference. Inojin didn't just bring any random gift, he brought her favorite thing. He thought about her, he paid attention. It's like a subtle hint from Ikimoto telling the audience to pay attention to Himawari, what she likes, what she wants, and what she needs. And it's kinda huge for the character because if we're being honest, she's often sidelined in Boruto. She's been the little sister for so long, the cute little sister that loves Tail Beast. But moments like this kinda push her more into the spotlight as her own person. The manga is saying, pay attention, she's important, she has her own relationships, her own story, and is also on her own journey for growth. This is how character elevation starts. Remember how Shikamaru was just the lazy guy until Kishimoto gave him those small personal scenes with his dad, and then boom, he's leading the war strategy against Edo Tensei and Madara Uchiha. That is what's happening with Himawari as well. And the same can also be said about Inojin. For years, he's been kinda in the background as well. Sarada and Mitsuki stole the spotlight in Team 7, and Inojin was mostly comic relief in Team 10. But in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, little by little, he's getting these moments that shows he's more than that. He's thoughtful, very supportive, and also very observant. And if we're being honest, I try to, avoid the shipping stuff, but this could very well be the manga planting the seeds for, Himawari x Inojin, the subplot that's going to happen eventually. Do I think they're going to end up married with 3 kids? Probably not, but I do think Kishimoto and Ikimoto are testing the waters, showing us that Inojin cares about her in ways that other characters might not. There's also some parallels to Naruto and Hinata as well. Like, people love to look at it from the Boruto and Sumire perspective, but it kinda more so applies to Inojin and Himawari. Hinata was the one who quietly supported Naruto in the background, giving him small but meaningful gestures. She didn't need to shout it from the rooftops, her kindness spoke volumes. And now we're seeing the same thing here. A small act, but one filled with kindness and care. It's almost poetic. Hinata once gave Naruto a token of care and now her daughter receives one in return. It's a subtle way to show the cycles of bonds continuing in the next generation. In the world of Boruto, a lot is happening. We have Otsutsuki gods, we have this omnipotence thing that's warping reality. A lot is happening, and most people really just want to see fights and big ball go boom. And I'm a fan of that as well. But the story does need to have heart, and you need these moments to establish that. I always tell people that that is what makes Naruto work. For every Rasengan clash, there was a ramen date, a talk with the sensei, a warm gesture between friends. Those small moments grounded the universe and made the characters feel more human. So on one hand, people will complain about the lack of development in the manga, which makes the anime better, but when the manga does it, they complain about it spending too much time on the emotional aspect of the story. They want the lore, they want the mystery, they want the fights. But it needs everything for it to work and succeed. I really do believe that. Now, there's a problem because Boruto is monthly, unfortunately, so it does make it a bit harder to do that. And most people tend to lose interest if a lot isn't happening for multiple months. So it is a very difficult position to be in for the Boruto manga, but hopefully they sort this out and we can get the ball rolling. Oh, and there's one more thing I wanted to mention because there's been this long-running theory that Inojin might not be affected by omnipotence anymore because based on what was said by Sakura, the stab through his abdomen disrupted his chakra flow and she needed to fix that. And of course, when it comes to genjutsu, it works by disrupting your chakra flow and manipulating your senses. And one can release that genjutsu by injecting chakra into their system to, of course, reverse the effects of the genjutsu. They could accidentally fix the effects of omnipotence by fixing Inojin's disrupted chakra, and thus he remembers who Boruto is and who Kawaki really is. This makes sense because omnipotence works by manipulating one's chakra as stated by Momoshiki. So at least theoretically it could work if Ikimoto wanted to do it, but that doesn't mean that he will. If this does happen, it could be something good. It could be a chance for them to build that emotional connection, Himawari and Inojin versus the world. People tend to build connections through shared experiences, especially traumatic ones. So I would have loved to see that, but to be honest, I think we're actually past that point because Boruto is not really an enemy at this point. He's now working with the village. He's in the village casually. No one is hunting him. He just wouldn't have the same effect as when he was a true rogue ninja, and they will be putting themselves in danger by supporting him in any way. So I think that ship has sailed, to be honest, but I could be wrong and Ikimoto might be cooking up some elders doing something crazy and Boruto still needs to flee, and then we have Himawari leaving the village with Inojin because they now know the truth and whatever. I guess we'll see. With that said, that is it for the video. If you guys liked it, drop a like and also give me your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think? Was this just a cute slice of life moment, or do you think Kishimoto or Ikimoto is hinting at something bigger for Himawari and Inojin? Is this the start of a low-key ship, or is it just about showing how Himawari's kindness attracts people around her? It could be something as simple as that, to be honest. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.